Ayman Khan here with Seconds Out with the one and only the GWOAT, Claressa Shields. Claressa, not only the GWOAT, you were just playing pacemaker there for a couple of seconds there with Auntie Taylor. What was happening?
Oh, I don't know the young man's name who's the wrestler, but he's fighting tomorrow. And I don't know if it was a fan who threw water on him.
Right.
And when the fan threw water on him, he took him down. He got a takedown on him, and a whole little brawl broke out. But I was telling him to calm down because we're in the Middle East and they don't like violence, and they will take him to jail. And he wasn't listening to nobody else. And the brawl had been going for at least four or 5 minutes, and security was coming over here. And I just wanted to tell him, I think God had just told me to go over there to him and tell him to calm down, because it was like maybe he'll listen to my voice because he wasn't listening to nobody else. And when I told him, like, hey, I think it was like the level of respect that he has for me is why he stopped. But he was ready to jump over the gate and go and get the guy. But I told him to calm down because they will put him in jail. We are in the Middle East. You can't be violent like that. You got to calm, because he was yelling and screaming. A bunch of security already came over and they was getting ready to cuff him. I told him to stop, relax. That was just what God told me to do. I didn't want to see the brother go to jail.
Claressa, the dust is firmly settled now on you adding another jewel to your GWOAT crown, having beaten Savannah Marshall in the UK.
Every time I hear it, it's funny.
Well, you deserved it. You put in that work and you got that crown in moment. Claressa, can you just sum up the feeling that you got when your name was announced as the victor, and then just the responding weeks after, how you feel?
I get chills down my body when I think about like when they announced it, because I have been waiting to hear it for so many years. I knew I was better than her. I knew that that it wasn't fair when she won in the amateurs. I knew that if I would have fought her any time in between, that I would have beat her. Yeah. But I just felt like it was the perfect timing and everything had aligned the right way. 20,000 fans, and I took her and I beat her up, took her out. It was, and gave her first L, you know what I'm saying, in the pros, and she was this big knockout puncher. It was a great feeling, still is. I'm still celebrating.
You've named a number of fighters on your hit list, number one being Tasha Jonas. If you had it your way, who would be the next fighter that you step through the ropes with?
Natasha Jonas. It's a couple girls I got on my list who I just want to punch in the face. But she's first on it because she's just a little hater, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these girls, like, I hate when a girl throw rocks and hide their hands. It's like, do the shit and own up to it. You said it. Be real. But it's like, now that I won, all these girls are coming and trying to say, oh, Claressa's the pioneer, Claressa is great, Claressa is the GWOAT. Like, but they wasn't saying that before. They were saying Savannah Marshall gonna knock me out. And when Savannah Marshall hit girls don't get up. And just saying, like, I ain't like that. So that's what really rubbed me wrong with Natasha, because I've always been nice and kind to her whenever I've seen her. And it's like, speak logical. Savannah Marshall didn't even knock me down. Didn't even stumble me. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It was like she was just riding Savannah Marshall coattails so hard. It was like, ooh, I want to go to 54 and just punch her in the face.
Is the fight in the PFL in the offing as well? And if it is, when could that be?
I'll be in the PFL cage next year, for sure. I have maybe one more boxing match, end of the year, beginning of the year. And then I'll be in the PFL cage, I believe, July.
I've got to ask you, people talk about the Savannah Marshall rematch down the line. How would a Savannah Marshall fight in the cage go between you two?
I'll whoop Savannah Marshall ass in the cage. Take her down, kick her, knee her in the stomach and everything. But she don't want to mess with me, though, because I've been in MMA for almost 2 years, and I've been doing both, MMA and boxing. But if I focus just on MMA, and I was able to get her big ass in the cage, it's on.
Just final couple of questions for me. There is a debate going on about who is the GWOAT in boxing. They say it's you or Katie Taylor.
Not a debate.
In a recent interview, though, you kind of maybe hinted that fight could potentially happen. How realistic is that? It's not.
It's not realistic. I mean, Katie's never coming to 147, and I haven't touched 147 yet. But it's not a debate on who the GWOAT is. I'm the true GWOAT. You guys can call Amanda Serrano the GWOAT. You can call Katie the GWOAT. But I'm the true GWOAT, and I love both of those girls. But I believe Katie liked to be called the best woman on the planet. She can have that. I believe that Amanda Serrano says she's the most decorated female fighter in boxing, which she kind of is. So they can have that. But GWOAT stays home. The name stays home.
Final question I want to ask you is, you spent a lot of time with Floyd and he always admires you and props you whenever he sees you. Can you tell me the best piece of advice that sticks in your mind that Floyd has given you?
Man, the best piece of advice that Floyd has given me was the night of my fight with Savannah Marshall. Right before I went out to the ring, he had called my coach, GT, and he said, ooh, it make me getting all emotional, but he called me and he said, if you don't win no other fight, you gotta win this one. And it was like, I had needed to hear it because it was like I wasn't worried, but it was like he was like, he's like, you got it, you know. And just hearing him like you know, cheer for me and tell me like, you know, this fight is your fight with Savannah Marshall is like my fight with Pacquiao. And when he said that, it was like I was at home on my couch, literally holding my gold medals, like praying that he win the fight. And he won. And it's just like that's how important this fight is for you. It's gonna change your life. He said, so it don't matter if you never win another fight in your life, you gotta win this one tonight. And when he said that, it just charged me up, and I was like, man, I'm about to hurt her. And that's what I did.
Claressa, a lovely moment. Thank you for sharing that touching story.
I'm emotional.
It's the heat. It's the heat, Claressa. Thank you so much for speaking to Seconds Out. Appreciate you. Thank you.